we don't see potential when things are going well. And it happens a lot of times in all aspects of business. Things are already going well, so we have no idea that we could be doing twice as well or three times as well. Welcome to Entrepreneurs, the Playbook. I am super excited about the playbook we're going to see today. It's a playbook that I've been waiting for many years, as I am working very hard in the appreciation of the differences between men and women, the appreciation of the opportunities, options, touches of favor that should be equitably distributed for the benefit of all. And my friend, Laura Ann Lamondo, she is the founder of Fangirl Fashionista. Welcome to the playbook, Laura Ann.
Thank you so much, David. Wow, what an intro. To equal the playing field for all. Woo! What a mission, huh?
It's a great mission. And you would think here in 2025 that it would be an easy mission, that everybody would be elevated in their awareness, especially when there is only profit and passion and purpose tied to the equitable opportunities that exist. And what we're talking about, to get more specific, Laura Ann, is that for years, so many sports have not provided fashion for women that have the licenses that they're interested in. It's that simple.
Yep.
And it's such a simple idea. Why haven't we seen super cute, sexy, feminine apparel with our favorite teams, leagues, and organizations and heroes on them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And, you know, having been in the industry for 25, 30 years and just being on autopilot myself, I just think everybody has multi-year contracts and the licensees are just providing what they've always provided. And it's selling, and nobody's stopping to think outside the box about what else there could be. But women have started voicing frustration, I'd say only in the last, 5 years, or not buying in the last 5 years. So that's what's making this conversation now present in our world, right? 3 years ago, I started talking to women on the street, just doing my own little focus groups. And every time I saw a woman in a piece of sports merchandise that looked cute, I would ask her where she got it, how she did it, what she did, right? And the answers would come back, oh, it's my son's boy's large shirt. Oh, I cut the seams open and re-sewed it, right? There are all these bunch of creative answers to make something look good. I'm like, why can't we just get them something that fits, right? So, I think it's just, money. It's cheaper to just buy in bulk for everybody. And, just the licensing industry just being successful with what's always been out there. And women putting up with it, quite honestly. That's the other piece of it, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point, that we don't see potential when things are going well. And it happens a lot of times in all aspects of business, where we have things are already going well, so we have no idea that we could be doing twice as well or three times as well. And I think that's a big part of fashionista, meaning women's sports fashion, is that we see women buying oversized jerseys, men's apparel, and wearing them, or just not fashionable women's fitting items, which they have moved to. And because the sales are so great, there isn't anyone in the decision-making process to say, imagine if. And my question is, what do we have to change to have the executives understand that they are limiting their success, even though they're successful?
Yeah. Well, the ones that have brought Fangirl Fashionista into their world are understanding it, right? They're seeing the opportunity. So that's the good news. There's, the opportunities that we have, but just recently, I have an old colleague that got a job at the NHL, and they're looking at Fangirl for that partnership, right? So that would be a huge male-driven sport and industry for us to kind of make impact there. But I just think, again, it's something that didn't really need to be fixed in the past. How to get it on the executive's radar is just, me building this product line, hopefully other people chiming in, the process that I'm doing of buying the material, sizing the material, making it around a mannequin, doing the fittings, doing the samplings, that's a lot harder than just buying wholesale is the problem, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing it. It's painful, but we'll get there, right? We're like the little engine that could. And I think just women speaking up more, right? And maybe buying less of what's out there and asking for what they really want. That would help put it on the business and the executive's radar too.
And what about on the other side of it, when we look at the current apparel companies that aren't taking on the license? So, for example, there's very popular women's styles and brands, and I've only seen collaborations with very, very high-end women's apparel. In that's not for the masses.
Right.
Why do you think there's a hesitancy of current women's apparel companies not to make the investment in the license in order to facilitate what you're looking to do at Fangirl Fashionista?
That is the biggest question that I have every day. I don't know, David, honestly. I mean, all I can think of is they don't understand the sports licensing business. They've never been in that lane. Like, it's not hard to figure out, but a company like, I don't know, a fashion design house, Lululemon. So for me, the difference is that's athleisure and sportswear, right? This is fan gear, totally different. So they're not in the lane. They're not in the same lane because it's like yoga pants and it's workout wear, right? I even had this conversation yesterday with somebody about our tennis license. Like, well, let's make sure we do a sport with a pocket so they can put a ball. I said, no, we're not playing tennis in this sport. We're going to the game and we're going to dinner, right? Yeah. It doesn't need to be tennis functional. So I think that's the difference. Lululemon has great sportswear line, but it's sportswear. It's not fandom wear, right?
It's interesting.
So yeah,
I think there is interference because it is so niche that you would either have like a sundress that was subtle. So you take in the men's space, Tommy Bahama is something that I'm thinking of that, puts in a license for sport. Travis Matthews has licenses and they'll put out their Travis Matthew, but their shirts to travel and play golf in that say a team's name on them. They don't have women's brands that do the same thing.
Exactly.
And it's interesting because when you have entrepreneurs like yourself, you can't really go to them because you would have no benefit to go to a woman's line of a sundress and say, oh, you should license this. Number one, they wouldn't be willing to take the risk. And if they did, you wouldn't benefit as an entrepreneur from it. And you're not looking for a job. So it's interesting when we have opportunities. Now, let's discuss some of the challenges. So when we obviously know there's challenges in go-to-market strategy because there's no common sense reason why this hasn't already happened. But as we explored the playbook to success, we realized there are historical and circumstantial problems with other people doing this business. So when we find that would deem to me great opportunity for you. Now, what are the challenges for you as an individual with the licenses that you have and the relationships that you have to just do it yourself?
Timeline is a big challenge, right? Because with fashion, like I started developing this fashion collection in March and, we are butting up right against the end of the season to get it to market for soccer. I mean, it takes that long. So that's why wholesale wins, right? Because wholesale is available, click a button, reorder, decorate it, done. It's in the customer's hands, right? So the timeline of fashion, especially for me starting out, I mean, I'm only 9 months in and I already have 2 licenses and I'm trying to get to market, right? So, the challenges of timeline, I mean, even if I had the funding, I wouldn't be able to pay more to get the timeline moved forward. But it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
And then, there's the old challenge of tariffs coming up and who knows how that's going to land, right? In August when that number may or may not change. So we're looking at all of that. And honestly, it might be smart for us to just pause this for 3 months, right? Let all that pass and then relaunch for March of next year. Soccer season is long. It ends at the end of November, starts again in March. So if we can't hit that timeline, we can just come back around for next spring, right?
Right. And then you also have the World Cup coming up beyond the soccer season.
Right. And World Cup might be women's. I mean, men's is 26, women's is 27. So we got some time there. If we don't hit men's, we'll come in at the end of men's and into women's, right?
I mean, the idea of Fangirl Fashionista is that it's for the fans, and there's so many women fans of men's World Cup.
Yes, so absolutely.
And I wanted to make that distinguishment because you had made and distinguished the fact that, to me, Dave, this isn't, you're not playing in the soccer game. We don't need to have those type of shorts. You're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to go to an extraordinary experience, and you want to be comfortable and look cute or sexy or whatever your intention of your fashionista is. My fashionista is be comfortable, not something my wife really admires about my fashion choices. But I travel so much, all I care about is comfort and it doesn't wrinkle. But no one's looking at Dave Meltzer going, man, I really want to see that sexy Dave Meltzer. Maybe my voice they think sexy. That'd be nice. So there's a lot of education.
So that distinction of like all sports is correct, David, what you're saying. Like we're hitting female. There's so many female fans of Major League Baseball, of NFL, of all of us need to be able to cheer on our favorite team. I mean, speaking of soccer, you know how many female fans of Messi there are and how many jerseys we would love to make for women.
I think more David Beckham still.
Yeah. I mean, there are fangirls around some of these male soccer players. There really are. Tennis too.
But don't you think also like in the Fangirl Fashionista, it goes beyond attending the game. So one of the things in sales that I train is that, to have a sports team logoed or a player logoed, it is a catalyst to conversation. And, if I was a single woman, could you imagine something better to wear than something that has sports on it? Because if you're looking for a partner and you like sports, I personally, when I was single, I love sports. I want to, and my wife, one of the things I loved about her, she loved going to the football and baseball games.
Awesome.
Like that was our date. Every single Sunday, that was our date. The Sunday game. And
I love
if
it.
I would have seen the lightning bolt on a sexy shirt, that would have been the bonus round to be like, oh my God, I'm not sure this gorgeous girl wants to go out with me, but I feel pretty comfortable asking her for my first date to say, hey, would you like to go to a Chargers game with me? I would think there's a huge market just in that space.
Totally. Yeah. So maybe our marketing play could be a little like, romance connection, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get the attention of all the attractive males at the game by wearing this Fangirl Fashionista top.
Or at the club to ask you to the game, right?
Right, exactly. Or the athlete,
Look, depending on the sport, you wear an F1 shirt, it's probably a high net wealth guy, or, some sort of tennis or golf shirt. A Masters, a women's great Masters shirt. So there's a lot of play here. So
there is.
There's one of the other challenges, and to finish up with, I have Meltzer funding to help bridge capital for women and women of color in business. And that's where I feel we have the biggest challenge in what you're doing and what every woman is doing as an entrepreneur, when less than 2% of women are getting funded. It's very hard to be successful in a business without having capital. And, I know that I'm sure you face a timing issue, but there's also just a lack of opportunity to capitalize a company correctly. And so, what advice would you give to, these wonderful women entrepreneurs that I'm trying to inspire to find the capital to be successful and fuel the engine?
Yeah, I've been chipping away at that a lot over the last 8 months. And, at first I went from let's just reach out to everybody who invests, and that was not successful, right? And then you get strategic about who you really are and what you're really fundraising for, and go in the lane where those people are. And quite honestly, that's where I feel like you and I have alignment. It's where I feel like the female sports supporters and I have alignment. So I started researching and possibly reaching out to those women because they understand the struggle. They were there themselves. So I don't know, the advice that I have is just try to be as aligned and strategic as you can and don't give up, and, keep finding people and reaching out to people that would benefit them as well. My entry into what Fangirl Fashionista is ultimately to bring revenue to sports, right? Merchandise is revenue. And a lot of people may not see that connection, but I'm trying to grow the women's game. I'm trying to support female athletes. And aside from that, the royalties that we pay all go back into sport to support the game in general. So that's the education that I'm trying to bring to people who might not see that connection. So, for other female entrepreneurs, just try to find that connection and that motivation, for people to invest in you.
I am a big fanboy of Fangirl Fashionista and you, Lorianne, as well. And your playbook success sounds stable and very prosperous. And I look forward to helping you. Please reach out to me. I will. As we were through this interview, I just thought of another great introduction that I can make to help you. Remember, everyone, the playbook to success is find someone that sits in a situation that you want to be in, but also find someone that you can help get to the situation they want to be in as well. That is the story of Fangirl Fashionista, and we are blessed to have Lorianne here with us. I'm David Meltzer. This is Entrepreneurs, the Playbook.